Recording. Entry exit tones off. Okay, so now I've got everyone muted, recording, and tones off. Okay, so I'll start and say thank you for everyone that was able to join us tonight and come in for this holiday, Labor Day, here in the United States. And, so I mentioned, to a couple of y'all earlier when you came on that tonight's moon, this is a new moon in Virgo, at 11 Virgo, and it actually happens at 8:55, which will be just about 45 minutes from now. So it will be in the actual call, which is rare. And so maybe it will be a potent time for us to really go in, in this deep meditative state for clearing and really birthing the new. Of course, new moons are, again, for when we birth the new things coming in our lives, and for really starting our new creations. And so the fact that it's happening exactly timing could be a good thing. So anyway, we've been through a really interesting summer as far as different astrological configurations that have happened for us individually and collectively. And we're setting up now, let me see, I don't remember if it's either yesterday or today that Pluto re-enters during its retrograde back into Capricorn. So it's going to finish up those final parts. And of course it's the anaretic degree of 29 degrees, which is really just, kind of like the shit hits the fan kind of degree wherever it's hitting in people's charts. But it's not just, not just individual, but it's collective. So it's everything. And so we've got 2.5 months of that all the way through mid-November, I think like the 18th or 19th, somewhere in there, before it goes back into Aquarius for the final time. And this will never happen again in our lifetimes, that Pluto is in Capricorn, which is basically, again, it's structures, it's the businesses, financials, anything with a structure, and that's any type of structure, a perceived belief structure, it's structures in the physical world in 3D. I also think, though, that what this is doing, it's breaking apart our perception of how we see ourselves as in the world as part of a structure. So as the physicality continues to morph and transform, in Aquarius, Aquarius is all about air. And, well, as astrology would go, it's an air sign. But from the phonetics of it, it's actually water, aqua, Aquarius. And I never understood why they would name Aquarius as a water sign. You'd think it'd be, as an air sign. That doesn't make sense to me. But it doesn't really matter because both are hyperfluid. Water's hyperfluid, and air is just, it's a very light presence medium. It's all that is this. So when you think about Pluto going into that, it's assisting us in knowing ourselves in a completely different way. And I mean, for all of you that have worked with Judith over the years, we may have a new person here or there on occasion. For those that don't know, Judith Linden, has worked with us for 50 years. Different clients over the years, just taking us into the infinite. But the point is that as we've continued going on this journey here in this physical awareness, and linear time is continually disintegrating on itself, taking us just to the immediacy of a now moment, we really are at perfect place to create from just nothing, from immediacy. You don't have to be tied to any story. You don't have to be tied to your history. You don't have to be in any place where you were last week, last month, last year, 10 minutes ago. I mean, from the time we began the call. And it's a concept that most humans just were not taught, and we're not trained to be in that level of an awareness, to just stay in an immediate moment and to know that everything can shift on a dime. And yet we're doing these things because I think we're all shifting, just simply by being in presence on the call, together. When you hold an intention and you own, the totality of who you are from your core, and if we all do that, we're continually shifting that for ourselves and anyone who listens to the call at later times. But we're also changing the field. The morphogenetic field that's, the quantum theorists talk about it. The morphogenetics means that everything is responding to itself. That means individually and collectively. So it's like you're the drop in the ocean, you're the drop in this consciousness, you're the drop in this dimension, but you're also a multidimensional expression. So as you're changing things here, as your awareness of it, and you're opening awareness to your multidimensional expression, we really can start to play in a lot of different ways. It's also how we can jump timelines and really leave a lot of the densification that builds up within the physical body. And so, each time we go into these meditations, every 2 weeks with these moon cycles, that's one of the things that, Spirit does take me into as an awareness, and whether I've articulated it or not each time, most of the time I think I do. But, we really are going in and letting ourselves completely collapse. It's one thing Judy's talked about, is just no matter what you're doing in your normal day, whether it's doing things with family and friends and business, whatever else, we have to allow ourselves time to just lay on the couch, just collapse. To nothing. And when we do that, we are putting ourselves in a place of releasing whatever got created 5 minutes earlier. And as we continually do that, I feel like, we're merged more with the all that is, and the all that is can bring us higher timelines, higher potentiality for partnering, either with other people, other energies to come in and manifest in our lives. Things that are not necessarily from a karmic place of cause-effect reality, but something that's deeply within our heart desires, and that has nothing to do with what the mind comes up with. And so this Virgo moon, Virgo has everything to do with details. Some people reference it as as the Virgin Mary, and different things, Virgo. And so imagine that we're coming from a place of that primordial awareness, the birthing. We're in our virgin space as a presence, and you're able to work with the moon in that type of a creationary awareness, and it's 11 degrees. 11 is a master number as we're building things. The other thing that's noteworthy about this moon is the fact that it is the opening moon cycle for the eclipse series. And September 17th will be the next moon, and it will be a full moon. And I think it's going to be a potentially dramatic one. Full moons are usually releasings. So then that one will set the stage then for the October 2nd eclipse, which will be a new moon. And it will be really, I think, when we have a lot of shifts. I mean, we always have shifts that happen during the eclipse times. But it really is that, as Stephanie Azar used to call it, the sideways elevator. I've actually heard some other people talk about it that way too. But it's kind of like you're here. It's almost like a viewfinder. It's like you click, and then it's like one view is this reality, and you can sit there and click, and a whole other reality comes over. It's almost like if you're sitting in your home, like you could go to sleep one night and you wake up and there's a whole shift in the reality. And it's really a bizarre space. So I'm going to try something real quick. I want to take this into a deep meditation before I continue. So just go in. And then note what comes up. So, as you're sitting in this quiet space, take note of the first thoughts or feelings that have come up for you within these last few minutes. It's kind of a different approach going into the call, but I really wanted to, on the early end, let you go into a quiet place so that when you are receiving any additional information, that your soul has begun to speak to you. So no matter what came up for you during this quiet time, this 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it was, sit with whatever it was. If it's something that wants to be released, if it's something that you want to start to create, it doesn't matter what it is. Don't judge any of it. Know that whatever it is, it's part of the new creation. Either by releasing and making space for the new creation, if it's something that wants to be released, or if it is a new creation, it's wanting to talk to you and say, sit with me and really try to formulate how that can come forth. Again, I mean, this is a potent new moon, potent beginnings. The astrology is kind of a mixed bag. There's still a lot of heavy, shifts and things happening, while at the same time we're past a lot of the stuff that was taking us into the way the structures in our lives are perceived with those last moons in June and July of Capricorn. So we've been sitting in whatever this has been months. Actually, the process started back with the eclipses at the end of March and beginning of April of this year. This eclipse series is tied to those events. So if you can think back to that time, if there's something that was in your mind or in your heart that you were thinking about or processing, perhaps the universe is going to bring circumstance changes for you that will put you in a place where you can start to really create what you're wanting to create right now. If it's releasing things, then really sit in with that and ask Spirit to work with you on that. As a matter of fact, the whole company of heaven, as we always go in and do these meditations, actually I'll articulate it for you. I mean, they're already brought in, but there's something about me articulating, I think, for you that may assist you in bringing in these assistances. So, again, I always ask for Mother, Father, God, because there's the balance. So many of us are still brought up with Father God, but we don't think about the Mother God. And, without the Divine Mother, nothing would birth. Although men try to birth, it doesn't work. But we can if we're sitting in the Divine Heart. But in physicality, you need the female for birthing. But as presence, which we all are, that's part of who we are. It's never been separate from us. So call in Mother, Father, God. Call in every ascended master through infinite presence, the entire archangelic kingdom, all of the elemental kingdoms, and the 7 mighty Elohim builders of form, as well as Saint Germain and the Violet Flame, the Diamond Christ Light, and the 12th Golden Ray. So as all these energies come and begin to really work with us, as we open our hearts and our minds that are subservient to the heart, in a much deeper integration now, we really are opening up for the unseen world to come work with us during this very potent time of manifestation. And so whatever it is that you want to envision, allow that to come forth. As a collective group, I know that all of our hearts are in a place where we really, 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 really want peace on this planet. So let's really sit with an intention to shift all of everything in our outer world that we perceive to just be peaceful. It doesn't matter what's going on in our lives circumstantially. We can still create peace. We're that powerful. At a bare minimum, we can have peace in our own lives. And just let that peace radiate out. Imagine that peace is in every tiny micron of the presence around you. And imagine that is extending out to your entire home, to your community where you live, to the state where you live. Imagine that it goes out to the entire country that you're living in. And from there, imagine it going out not just to the continents, but to the entire world. Imagine that peace reverberating out through all of the airspace on the planet, all of our atmosphere. Imagine that peace then permeating out into our solar system. Imagine that peace going all the way out into our universe. Imagine that peace going into all of the sun-daughter universes. As you put that peace out, imagine that peace has to come back to you. What you put out in the world must come back. Imagine that peace going all the way into the all that is, into the Godhead. You may feel so zoned out that you have no awareness of anything around you right now in this 3D world. This is the omnipresence, the omnipotence, and the omniscience. This is who you are as a galactic being, as an aspect of Mother, Father, God. if you're still attempting to shift physical disease patterns, ask that that be done. Allow yourself to know that that can be done. Even though we have a smaller group today because of the holiday, there's actually 8 of you that have called in, and with me that makes 9. 8 is the infinite, and 9 is completion. It really is a perfect number for the work that our souls are doing on a collective level in this particular point of time, because you all represent the infinite. The number 8 is that wonderful sun that just goes around and around and comes back on itself. And that's what we're doing. As a presence, we are in that union and communion with Mother, Father, God. Some of you are being given amazing imagery with that, just as a presence. Some of you are going into deep ecstatic awareness. And in the deepest amount of joy that you've probably ever felt within this lifetime. Some of you may be in a place where your awareness is so far out in the other universes, and yet you're still sitting here in this physicality with your awareness in all of the places in between. There's no separation. If there is a perceived separation left, that's what this Pluto and Capricorn will continue to dissolve. By the time we get to next year, we are going to be in such a completely different reality. Our relationship to the outer physicality is continually shifting and changing exponentially. So feel how deeply that you are reconnecting with Source. If you have any place within your mind that still wants to come forth to hinder you, just soften it and know that you can release it. Again, some of you will go really deep here, and some of you will not go as deep, depending on where you are in the progression of the soul. And yet every single one of you will have the opportunity with this amazing energy to go so deep beyond anything you've ever done before. And that's now where we're going to go. So this is going to be a quiet time. I'm not going to talk over it, so that Spirit can really take us really deeply where we need to go. But know that we're here. This is going to give you such a core clearing beyond anything we've ever had. And you're participating in it. So if you put in place the conscious request, just go in, just quietly, and just ask Mother, Father, God, and the entire company of heaven that we just mentioned to assist your soul in really clearing out and going to 0 point now for your new creations. Here we go. Hey everyone, this has been a really powerful and potent, really deep meditation. There's been so much shifted for each of us, while also deeply taking us into our own primordial awareness and clearing any and all additional residue that was needed for pristine creations coming up with these eclipses. We've gone into so much of our infinite awareness with this meditation. You're invited to stay in this space and continue to go deeper if your soul is drawn to do so. Know that you, no matter what, have certainly shifted between where we began and where you are now. And thank all of you that made the time to come and participate with us today. Eternal love and infinite blessings to all of you.